Hello and welcome to Rambling Runner Reviews, and today we are talking about the Adidas Adios Pro 2. I was so excited to buy this shoe. Let me tell you, I could not wait. I had not tried the first version of this. I had heard such great things. This is on podiums everywhere in so many different race distances, all the way from, I've seen people doing the street mile in this shoe. Now, people, I mean elite athletes, all the way up to the marathon. And I could not wait to get my hands on this, and I'm so glad that I did, because I have some very strong feelings about this shoe, both positive and negative. First, let me say that I bought this shoe with my own money. It was not provided to me by anybody or any companies. So also, anything that I say in this review is going to be basically exactly what I think. No one's going to be able to influence what I say, nor will they be able to watch the review before it gets posted on YouTube. So this shoe, okay, so many things to say. All right, so let me just say this. For certain people, I think this is the best super shoe out there, bar none. Okay, when I first tried this shoe, I thought I was going to be one of those people. As you'll see in a second, I wasn't, or if you just read the title of this video, you probably already know that it didn't quite agree with me, but for certain people, this shoe is going to be fantastic. Okay, we'll start at the upper first. Okay, it's a cellular mesh upper. It's incredibly light. It's incredibly breathable. You can literally see through the shoe. Okay, you can see through it. Okay, it doesn't stretch. Okay, you're going to see some creasing here in the forefoot. There's a little mini toe cap. On the inside here, on the outside, is a little rubber overlay, very similar to the Atreyu Artist. So it will lay flat on your toes. It does not provide any stability whatsoever. The whole point of this upper is to be as light as possible. Okay, in the back, you're going to see some internal padding, similar to what you would see in the Vaporfly. So some light internal padding here on the inside. Also, what you'll see in the Puma Deviate. The heel cup is a little bit of stability, not new stability. It doesn't fall down. I guess the best way of putting it. But ultimately, this upper needs to stay light because the midsole is not light. Okay, so from a weight perspective, this is almost 8 ounces for a men's size 9, or in some places is 8 ounces in a men's size 9, women's size 8. If you don't know weights in super shoes, that's pushing the upper limit for weight in a super shoe. Okay, the vast majority are a half an ounce to over an ounce lighter than this puppy. Okay, the only one that I found that it weighs more from a legal perspective, obviously the Adidas Adios Prime X is significantly more, but ultimately the Alpha Fly is the only one that weighs more than this shoe. So the upper needs to save weight because of the density of the midsole, and it does that. If you need stability in your super shoes, this is not for you, especially for certain people. The outside, the Continental rubber is fantastic. You see, it covers all the points where you're going to want it. Okay, a lot on the, not a lot, it's a very thin strip of rubber, but significant coverage here on the lateral side, as you can see, especially with the cutout here, very little on the medial side. I found the rubber to be perfectly fine. No issues with traction and no issues with durability either. Exactly what you would expect. I was a big fan of this rubber. So that's the upper, that's the outsole. That is the stuff that doesn't quite matter as much. Really what we have to talk about is the properties of the shoe that can be the big highs and potentially the big lows. Let's just start with the highs. So the foam. Sorry, but leaned in there a little bit, just trying to get my bearings here in my new seating position. The Lightstrike Pro foam for Adidas is my favorite super foam. Okay, it's my favorite one. There's a lot of good ones out there. This is my favorite. I know it weighs a little bit more than the ASICS version, the Flight Foam Turbo, the Flight Foam Turbo, there we go, and the Zoom X. Also the super foams from New Balance, the Fuel Cell, and Saucony as well. So it does weigh a little more, but I think that you get plenty of ROI out of this foam. Okay, it's dense yet cushiony and springy. Okay, you can see just from a durometer scale. Okay, it definitely is more dense than some of these other foams, right? You have some like the Fuel Cell and the Puma Deviate Elite foam that is very, very easy to compress. Okay, this is not that. However, it's not a dense shoe where it doesn't bounce back. So this is kind of the sweet spot for this shoe. While it is more dense than other foams, it has plenty of balance and spring, which is why this shoe can be so nice. Okay, I love this foam very much. I don't even care this shoe weighs a little bit more than some of the others, because I feel like if you're putting, whatever you're putting into this foam is bouncing right back, and I absolutely love it. Okay, now Adidas does not use carbon plates, they use carbon rods. There's 5 of them. They're supposed to trace the metatarsals in your foot. Okay, you can see 3 of them here. There's 2 others here on the lateral side, which you cannot see with this cutout. Again, this cutout, I think part of it is for show, to let people know what the rods look like. Also, it's obviously will save weight as well, which the shoe needs to do in spades compared to its competitors. These rods, I think part of it is a marketing tool. Like, hey, we're different. We got rods instead of a plate. Okay. You're Adidas. You don't need to do crazy wild marketing. You're already a leader in the space. Also, maybe it helps. I think it probably is a little bit more stability. This shoe, from a flexibility standpoint, we'll do a little flex test. You can see here, it's pretty rigid. Okay, so from a rigidity standpoint, I'd say it's almost as rigid as the A6 Metaspeed Sky. Not quite there, but it's close. Definitely more rigid than the Vaporfly, and certainly more rigid than the New Balance RC Elite 2 and the Puma Deviate Elite. So it definitely has that rigidity to it, and it definitely has a good spring. Now, it's not so rigid where you feel like you can't run at easy pace. I think the harder parts for people who are maybe running their marathons, the 4-hour marathoners and up, this shoe is not stable at easy pace. It just isn't. Okay, so you have this cutout here. So from a medial overpronation standpoint, that's not great. In addition, I think that they knew that that was going to be a problem, so they engineered it so if you do land on the lateral side, it keeps you over there. It's a kind of an odd curvature. I don't know the engineering behind it, but anyway, if you land on the lateral side, it does keep you there. So if you supinate, this shoe is absolutely not for you, because you'll just stay on that lateral side and you'll really land there and you'll stay there. Okay, if you're a slight overpronator, like I am, who lands on the lateral side, like I do, this shoe really does flow nicely, because that curvature within the engineering of the shoe does keep you landing there and then keeps you going forward without really smashing down on the inside. If you're a heavy overpronator, this one can get tricky. So I think for the vast majority of people, most people have a slight overpronation, this could work for you. Like most super shoes, if you need a lot of stability, this probably is not for you. I would say the most stable super shoe that I've tried is the New Balance RC Elite 2. You might want to give that a try. This probably isn't for you. Again, if you're more of a neutral runner, I think this will be just fine. Now, the big thing here, and this is why ultimately this was not my race day shoe at the Eugene Marathon or for any other race I did. I did some half marathons, some 5Ks coming up, and I don't know if I can use this shoe because of how I land and these rods. Okay, so the rod that goes to the medial side the most, the one that basically traces underneath my big toe, it's here and it comes up over there. And what happens is, not in this shoe particularly, not my left shoe, but on my right foot, where I land, where my big toe lands, it's right on this rod. Okay, and this is the hard part with these rods because they're thicker. You can see the thickness of the rods there, right? The carbon fiber plates are very thin. With this rod here embedded in the foam, you can feel it, or I can feel it underneath my big toe, underneath the ball of my foot, and it doesn't feel great. All right, so basically when I wear this shoe, every 3 miles I have to stop, and it's not great. And the hard part is it's only with one foot, so I can feel the other foot, my left foot, my left leg loves this shoe. I am cruising, I am flying, and when I'm, for the first 2.5 miles of each little like 3-mile segment, I am in love with this shoe. Right? My best long run came in this shoe as I've broken this shoe in. And this shoe is incredibly durable. As I've broken in the shoe, the foam gets lighter and even better and more responsive and softer. This issue gets worse and worse because it compresses more into the carbon rod, and it's just not great. It's not great for me. I can see why some people would absolutely love this shoe, that this would be the king of the super shoes for them, because on one side of my body, it is for me. On the other side, I can see why other people, and especially some pros, I'm not going to name names, have had some serious trouble with this shoe and have chose not to race in it, because that's exactly what happened to me. My first time trying this shoe, I was in 100%. I texted everyone I knew, this is the best shoe. I then had to change my mind in those text messages. So ultimately, this shoe is a buyer beware. Okay, this may be the best shoe in your closet, or this may be a shoe that never leaves your closet. So the prices of this shoe is right now from $175 to $220. I've seen a lot of sales on different colorways. This colorway is basically gone. There's some other ones as well, and Adidas does a really good job of having some really fun and unique colorways. And so go try them out. But if you do, make sure you have a really good return policy, because there's a chance that you won't be able to run in this shoe, and you don't want to be stuck with a shoe that you can't run in. So again, buyer beware. But it probably is worth trying out just to see if it does work for you. And if it doesn't, again, put yourself in a position to get your money back, because these puppies, whilst on sale, are not cheap. So that's my recommendation for this shoe. It can either be the king of the hill or fall off the hill all the way down to the bottom of the hill and just lays sallow or callow in the valley. And that's about it. So thank you so much for watching this and all of the Rambling Runner reviews. Have a great day and happy running.